And you've seen that in times you've conducted traffic stops, right?
I have, yes.
I mean, because, not everyone's super comfortable with the police, right?
Fair.
And especially if you don't know you're getting pulled over by a police officer, sometimes you can be a little anxious or a little nervous, right?
That's fair.
And you'd said that the reason you told them that you were pulling them over was something about a license plate, or what was it?
His registration being expired, which it actually was.
Okay, and then he had said that he was going to the Greenfield DMV, correct?
That is the response that he gave us, yes.
Okay. And so he gave that response after you told him that's why you'd pulled him over?
Correct.
Nothing further.
State? Were there other officers with you at the time of the traffic stop, meaning other squad cars?
Yes.
And were those marked or unmarked?
There was mostly unmarked. I believe that there might have been one marked car, but most of the cars with us were all unmarked.
And when your unmarked squad's lights are activated, is it clear that it's a squad car?
Yeah, it's clear. And it's 360 lighting all around.
And there's a siren too?
There is a siren.
Nothing further.
Defense?
Yes, just briefly, Judge. So, Detective, you said that there was multiple squads that kind of had almost surrounded the car after it had been pulled over?
I wouldn't use the word surround. I would say there was multiple unmarked squad cars in the area. Like I testified before, there was a couple unmarked squad cars at Mr. Anderson's residence. There's a couple unmarked squad cars down the block from the traffic stop. And I believe there might have been another unmarked squad car behind our actual unmarked squad car during the traffic stop itself.
Okay, so it's your unmarked squad and also another unmarked squad behind yours, correct?
That's fair to say, yes.
And so multiple officers, correct?
I think in total there was 3, including me.
Okay, and then are you armed when you're on duty?
Yes.
And you were armed at the time that you were making contact with Mr. Anderson, correct?
Yes.
I have nothing further.
State? Nothing further.
Thank you, Detective.
Thanks.
State your next witness.
Deputy Ethan Stout.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You could please be seated, state and spell your name for the record.
I am Deputy Ethan Stout, E-T-H-A-N, last name S-T-O-U-D-T.
You a deputy with the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office?
I am.
How long have you been employed by the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office?
Approximately 3.5 years.
Were you working in your capacity as a deputy back on April 4th, 2024?
I was.
Did you participate in the arrest of Maxwell Anderson that day?
I did.
Were you present when he was arrested?
I was.
Is he in the courtroom?
Yes.
Could you identify him just for the record?
I'll stipulate.
All right.
The record will so reflect.
Thank you. Where did this arrest occur?
The arrest occurred in the area of South 38th and Lakeview, if I'm not mistaken.
Were you wearing a body cam at the time of the arrest?
I was.
You were not the individual who made direct contact with Mr. Anderson at the beginning of the traffic stop, correct?
No, I was a backup officer.
So tell us what you did then.
I arrived on scene. I approached the vehicle from the passenger side. I had my body-worn camera that I wear on my chest. I had it activated. And while my partners were speaking with Mr. Anderson on the driver's side of the vehicle, I was, I guess, looking through the window or just providing backup or cover for them from the opposite side of the vehicle.
During the initial contact, you were on the front passenger side of his Hyundai?
That's correct.
At some point, did you go around and assist in taking him into custody?
I did.
While that was occurring, did Mr. Anderson place any items of his on the roof of the car?
Yes.
What items?
As Mr. Anderson exited his vehicle, he had his phone in his left hand and his wallet in his right hand, and my partners took hold of his arms, and as they did, he set his belongings on top of the vehicle.
Did you yourself collect those items?
I did.
Okay. I'm going to show you exhibits 453 and 263.
Have the numbers one more time.
453 and 263.
Thank you.
Starting with 453, do you recognize what that item is?
I do.
What is it?
This is Mr. Anderson's wallet.
Move 453 into evidence.
Any objection?
Fine.
It's received.
And 263, do you recognize what that item is?
I do.
What is that?
This is Mr. Anderson's cell phone.
Those are the actual objects you collected off the roof of this car that he put there?
That is correct.
Move 263 in.
Any objection?
No.
It's received.
I've got on the screen next to you and over here, whatever TV you're more comfortable looking at, exhibit 449. Do you recognize what this is just on the still frame that I have up here?
I do.
What is this?
This would be my body-worn camera from the date and time of the arrest.
What is that date and time?
That is going to be the year 2024, April 4th, at 1:15, excuse me.
Okay, and what you're doing right now, you're reading up here in the right-hand corner, correct?
Yes.
It's a little hard to see because of the background, but this was 1:17 on April 4th?
Correct.
Okay, I'd move 449 in and ask to publish.
Any objection?
No.
It's received. Go ahead.
Playing it from 23 seconds is where I picked up the video.
Dispatch C16, point, ready. By 16, go ahead, put your info. 13:15 hours, case number is 24, Frank Adams, 1849. Last name of defendant is Allison Adams, Lincoln, Ida, Sam, Ocean, Nora. First name is Eric, middle name is Mars and Robert.
If you're in the room, welcome. We watching the Sade Robinson trial. This is video of when they arrested the guy that she went out on a date with. And he killed her on the first date, chopped her up, and spread her body all over the city. That's what we doing over here. Hit that like, share, subscribe.
What's going on? Yeah, somebody just radio it.
124 dispatch.
So, what's going on? The key to any ignition?
Yeah, I want to custody.
Paused it at 3 minutes, 10 seconds.
Is that video on a flash drive or on a CD?
This is a disc, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pick it up at 3 minutes, 22 seconds.
See the paperwork, so I can go to, yeah, the DMV. 132 dispatch.
What's going on about this? Just okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Said nothing on you at all, right? Nothing's gonna poke me or anything like that?
Service 1317 hours. Last name of Bank. First name of Ronald.
Moving forward, just a little bit more.
C16. Copy that. 132 dispatch. 132, go ahead. You started to Alright, you give me the address and now you give me the plate. I gotta go to a different street. Go ahead with the plate again. Wisconsin. I'm sorry, 16.
Paused it at 4 minutes, 52 seconds. What we watched there, Deputy, you assisted in patting him down?
That's correct.
No weapons or anything on him?
They were not.
I have nothing else.
Cross?
One minute, please. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Are you still employed at the Sheriff's Department?
I am.
Okay. You're a deputy or a detective?
I'm a deputy.
And what we've watched here is basically a traffic stop where there's multiple undercover officers that are parked behind Mr. Anderson's car when he was stopped, right?
Yes.
So a fairly sizable operation.
Yes.
And that's because Max had been identified as somebody that you wanted to take into custody, right?
That is correct.
And in fact, there was even a briefing beforehand to discuss that, right?
Correct.
This wasn't a coincidental thing, was it?
It was not.
The whole plan was to conduct surveillance, follow him, and then do a stop before he would ever get to his house, right?
Yes.
And what we saw in your body cam is Mr. Anderson cooperating with law enforcement.
Correct.
And actually, at one point, I heard him ask, what is this all about or what's happening? Did you hear that?
Yes, I do recall that.
And law enforcement told him it was an expired registration.
Yes.
He was never told during this time that you're a suspect in something much more serious.
At that time, I do not recall hearing that.
Certainly, a person might draw the conclusion that there's something else that they're suspected of when they see all these unmarked squad cars behind them for a traffic stop, right?
Yes.
Nevertheless, Mr. Anderson did not flee.
He did not.
Didn't struggle one bit.
No, he did not.
And in fact, the way he looked when you saw him, he had a hat, a beanie on or a winter cap on, right?
Yes.
But in terms of how he looked when his picture was shown at the briefing and how he looks at the stop, there was no difference, right?
In his physical appearance, you mean the demeanor that he
Yeah,
had?
physical appearance. He didn't change his physical appearance, right?
No.
No haircut or facial shade, anything different about his appearance, right?
Not that I recall, no.
Were you involved in the search of the vehicle?
I was not. I don't know.
Well, you did obviously recover a phone and a wallet, right?
Correct.
And that wallet, you identified it. It was an exhibit, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you were the one who, you were the one who recovered this, right?
I was.
Did you examine it?
On scene?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. Well, there was nothing about the blood, the wallet didn't have blood on it that you saw or anything like that, did it?
Not that I recall.
And the cell phone, Mr. Anderson put that on top of his vehicle as well, right?
That's correct.
And certainly as a deputy, you're involved in traffic stops on a regular basis, I would assume, right?
Yes.
You've had certainly you've had situations where the lights go on and they flee.
Yes.
They just floor it and try to get out of there.
Correct, yes.
Or even once they're stopped, they open the door and try to run from the scene of the stop, right?
Yes.
So we could call this essentially a normal traffic stop with a cooperative person, right?
Yes.
And were you involved in the, well, you also did other things in this case, including going to Victor's and speaking with people that work there, right?
That's correct.
And you learned that Mr. Anderson worked at Victor's, right?
Correct.
He was a bartender there for a number of years, right?
Yes.
Or and you talked to his manager even, didn't you, Jose Hernandez?
That's correct.
And in fact, one of the things that you did there was you even wanted to access their camera system at Victor's to study that, right?
That's correct.
And you even served a subpoena on the, would you call it a restaurant, a bar? What would you call it?
Bar, nightclub.
You served a subpoena on the bar and nightclub, right?
Yes.
And essentially what you got from that was a couple of videos that show that Max Anderson and Sade have had contact there, right?
Yes.
Nothing about that showed any threatening behavior by Mr. Anderson?
No.
Or something suspicious between the two of them that you would identify?
No.
You interviewed a big part of your job actually was the whole Victor side of it, wasn't it? Going there and talking to people and pulling the videos?
Yes, I talked to multiple people from Victor's.
And the reason for that is because you want to try to figure out if there's something that points to Mr. Anderson as having committed this crime, right?
In the grand scheme of things, yes.
And all that revealed was that Mr. Anderson and Sade Robinson had interacted with each other and obviously knew each other, right?
Yes.
Were you involved in any side of the case to get footage from Twisted Fisherman or Duke's on Water Street? Did you involve yourself in any of that?
I did not.
Obviously, you went and conducted neighborhood surveillance canvases where you pulled video footage on April 4th from various houses, right?
Reviewed potential footage, yes.
And what was the point of that?
From what location specifically?
Well, I saw that you did that in the Gordon Place area.
Sure. That specific area, I believe the purpose was to look for footage of a vehicle or anything unusual that happened during a certain time frame that had been pointed out to me and fellow deputies.
The East Concordia, North Gordon Place area?
Yes.
Is that near Mr. Anderson's house?
No, it is not.
Just a different area?
Yes.
And part of what you do in general, though, is you can look for things like Ring doorbell videos and other such things to try to piece cases together, right?
Yes.
You also conducted a search of a park, right? A Pleasant Valley Park?
Yes.
Nothing noteworthy there, right?
Correct, nothing.
No body parts or human remains?
No.
Okay, that's all.
State?
Nothing else.
Thank you, Deputy.
Thank you.
State your next witness.
Brian Conti.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
If you could please be seated, state and spell your name for the record.
Detective Brian Conte, BrianConte.
Are you a detective with the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office?
Yes,
How long have you worked for the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office as law enforcement?
29 years.
Were you working as a detective back on April 5th, 2024?
Yes,
Did you participate in general into the investigation into the disappearance of Sade Robinson?
yes,
On April 5th, 2024, did you have personal contact with Maxwell Anderson?
yes,
The person I'm referring to as Maxwell Anderson, do you see that person in court today?
yes,
I'll just stipulate to this in general, for it's clear for the record, this is Max Anderson here.
Okay, so you had contact with the defendant on April 5th, correct?
yes,
Was the purpose of having contact with the defendant on April 5th to get a DNA sample from him?
yes,
Can you tell the jury what that is and how you go about obtaining it from a person?
yes. We needed to get a DNA sample, and it's called a buccal swab, and it's a swab of their cheek cells on the inside of their mouth. So we put fresh gloves on. We use fresh, unopened cotton swabs. One swab for one inside of his cheek, a second swab for the second cheek, and we place it in a cardboard box, and then we seal it in an envelope, a paper envelope.
To the best of your ability, you're trying to ensure the swab is not contaminated, correct?
Yes,
And why is it that you swab the cheek?
because we've been instructed or trained that that gives the best human cells to contain DNA, and that's how we've been trained.
What do you do this with?
With
What do you use to do it?
cotton applicator swabs that are provided to us for that purpose.
And you did that with Mr. Anderson?
Yes,
Showing you 407. 407 is a sealed envelope. Do you know what that is based on the markings that are on it?
yes.
What is it?
This is the envelope containing those buccal swabs that I obtained on that day
From the defendant?
from the defendant.
I've moved 407 in.
Any objection
No.
received?
There's additionally a yellow sticker on this envelope, not the exhibit sticker, but a different one. Do you know where that is from?
Yes, that is a evidence sticker that the Wisconsin Crime Lab places on items submitted to the lab for testing.
And the purpose of getting the buccal swab, or the DNA swab from Mr. Anderson was to ultimately at some point send it off to the state crime lab for DNA analysis, right?
Yes,
Nothing else.
Defense?
No.
Thank you, Detective.
you're welcome.
State your next witness.
Let me check the hallway. I'll check the hallway. Okay, the state's going to call Officer Brooke Tavagian. I think she's coming from another room. That's fine. I'm going to recall Detective Vandertye briefly.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
If you can please be seated, restate, and respell your name for the record.
I am Detective Matthew, M-A-T-T-H-E-W, Vandertye, V-A-N-D-E-R-T-I-E.
Detective Vandertye, you had previously testified in this trial about the exigency records for Sade Robinson's phone, as well as doing warrants for those records, as well as the records for Maxwell Anderson's phone and the Life 360 accounts, right?
Yes.
And did you also do something upon the arrest of Maxwell Anderson regarding his phone?
Yes.
I'm going to show you Exhibit 263, which has already been admitted. Do you recognize what 263 is?
Yes, this is Samsung cellular telephone that was recovered based on my knowledge from Maxwell Anderson.
You were not there for Maxwell Anderson's arrest or the recovery of that phone, right?
Correct.
After he was arrested, did you take possession of that phone at some point in time and take it anywhere?
Yes, on April 8th, 2024.
And where did you take that cell phone?
This cell phone, I transported it to the Wisconsin Department of Justice, Division of Criminal Investigation, out in Brookfield, Wisconsin.
I'm sorry, what was the last part?
Out in Brookfield, Wisconsin.
And for what purpose was that?
For forensic examination or forensic download.
What is a forensic examination?
Essentially, an analyst will download the information or the data from the phone using forensic techniques that they are trained to do.
Did you communicate with the person who did that in this case?
Yes.
With that phone?
Yes.
Who was that?
It was DCI, or Division of Criminal Investigation employee Juan Luis Villegas.
Did he then provide you with something after the examination was done?
Yes. On the following day, again, traveled to the DCI offices where Juan Luis Villegas returned the cell phone, in addition to a USB flash drive containing that forensic examination, those files.
I'm showing you Exhibit 264. Do you recognize what that is?
Yes, that is the USB flash drive I just described.
That contains the forensic download of that Samsung phone?
Yes.
Move 264 into evidence.
Any objection?
No.
It's received.
I just have a couple more questions. I want to actually go back to those records we talked about. Between the exigency records and the records that you obtained from Verizon, I'm only talking about for Sade Robinson's phone, what was the total date range of text messages that you received the SMS content for?
Between the exigency records and the search warrant records was March 27th, 2024 to April 3rd, 2024.
Have you reviewed the entirety of those text message contents?
Yes, between that time frame, yes.
Did you discover, and I know we read through a part of the conversation that she had with Maxwell Anderson's phone number. Did you review conversations she was having with other people as well?
Yes.
Were there any other conversations you observed where it appeared she was planning on meeting up with anybody else on April 1st or April 2nd, the evening of April 1st and then maybe April 2nd?
No.
Were there any conversations that you reviewed that seemed volatile in any way, angry in any way?
No.
Were there any conversations that you reviewed that referenced drugs?
No.
Nothing else?
Cross?
No.
Thank you.
All right, now I'll call Brooke Tavagian.
They running through witnesses.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
If you could please be seated, state and spell your name for the record.
My name is Brooke Tavagian. First name spelled B as in boy, R-O-O-K-E. Last Tavagian, T as in Tom, A, B as in Victor, A, J-I-A-N.
All right, good afternoon. How are you employed?
I am a police officer with the Waukegan Police Department.
Waukegan, Illinois?
Yes,
That's about 50 miles south of here, give or take?
approximately.
Okay. You drove up here this afternoon to testify?
Yes.
How long have you been a police officer with the Waukegan Police Department?
Almost 9 years.
Is Waukegan is it a city or is it a village?
It's a city.
City, okay. Is it on the shores of Lake Michigan?
Yes.
Were you working in your capacity as a police officer with the Waukegan Police Department back on May 11th, 2024?
Yes.
Were you just assigned to routine patrol or what's your shift like?
I was working as an evidence technician that day.
And what shift times were you working?
3:30 p.m. to 3:30 a.m.
Around 8 p.m., shortly prior to 8 p.m., were you dispatched anywhere in particular?
To the lakefront, which was 200 Seahorse.
What information were you given upon being dispatched to that location?
That there was a potential body part located on the north shore of the beach.
I think you were giving an address. What was the address?
200 Seahorse Drive.
Were you alone or were you with a partner when that happened?
I was driving alone, but I met with other officers on scene.
The location of 200 Seahorse Drive, what is that?
It's like the beach address, or around the beach.
Right on the shores.
Yes.
Is it a sandy beach?
Yes.
Are there dunes as well?
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware of what the person who called for a police response had reported?
From my understanding, the person who made the complaint said that there was a potential human arm located on the beach.
Then you went there how?
I drove my squad car to the beach, to the parking lot, and then I was transported to the location of the body part by ATV.
ATV?
Yes.
And that was, how far did you have to go up the beach on the ATV?
I don't know exactly, but it was pretty far north. It's not easily accessible. You can't get to it from the parking lot. You have to either walk, usually just have to walk it.
Not easily accessible though?
Correct.
When you got to the location where you had been called to, what did you observe?
I observed an apparent human arm laying on the beach.
How did it look to you?
It looked decayed. And,
Decayed?
Yeah, decomposing.
Did it appear to you that it had washed ashore?
Yes.
What about it gave you that impression?
The coloring of it, it was discolored, sometimes common to seeing stuff in the water, like body parts. There was pieces of the arm missing from like the forearm, kind of looked like maybe it was being chewed on by, marine life.
And was it close to the water line?
Yes,
Did you take some photos of it to document where you found it?
yes,
I'm going to show you exhibits 258, 259, 260, and 261.
And I stipulate to these as well.
Okay.
Thank you. Then I received.
All right, these are received into evidence. Can you just tell us, you can look at all four of them and tell me if you took those photos.
yes, yes,
Are those all photos of the arm that you found at the beach?
yes.
And I'm actually going to show you what's already been admitted into evidence is exhibit 262. Does that appear to be the same arm?
Yes,
Okay. And you're able to tell that how?
by the decomposition on it, and I remember this area, these areas.
Okay. And you're pointing to sort of where it would link to the shoulder as well as the wrist?
Yes. And it's the right arm.
I'm going to show you 260. Just take a minute to come up here. All right. Exhibit 260. Now it was nighttime when you took these photos, right?
Yes,
Okay. And the leg, is it in the middle there underneath that log? Or excuse me, the arm?
the arm, yes.
Okay. Here's 259, just a close up, a little blurry, but it was in the sand like that?
Yes,
All right. 258, was it located right underneath that log?
yes, just like how it is there.
Okay. Lastly, 261. Is that how it appeared when you found it?
Yes,
Was the Lake County coroner called out to the scene?
yes.
What did you do when that happened?
I took some more photos along with the coroner, and I just allowed him to do his investigation.
Did the coroner recover the arm and take it back to the Lake County coroner's office?
Yes,
Did you stay with that person or did you go on doing other things?
I went on doing other things.
But you stayed with the arm until the coroner recovered it from the scene?
Yes,
I have nothing else.
Cross?
No.
Thank you.
thank you.
Anyone need a break? Are we okay right now? Need a break? Okay, I see some yeses. So we'll take a break, our afternoon break, and then we'll come back shortly. You can just leave your notebooks on your chairs.
As you can see, folks, they going on a break. This is a crazy, crazy case. I mean, you gotta be crazy to kill somebody, then keep the body around, chop them up, spread their body pieces around, and then have a trial and say you didn't do it. Maybe he didn't do it. I don't goddamn know, but sheesh. I guess he feel, hey, I might as well have a trial. They fuck up somewhere down the line. I can overturn this shit, because I don't know. Crazy to me.
I guess briefly, there's a potential I would call 4 civilians at some point in the rest of the afternoon.
Okay.
Russell Davis, Brian Calvert, Tim Sluga, none of them have criminal convictions. And then LaMetra Griffin has 1 misdemeanor conviction from 2021.
Well, I'm sorry, the last name?
Griffin.
On defense, are you in agreement with that?
Yes.
Okay, so Ms. Griffin, if she testifies, have you ever been convicted of a crime? The answer will be yes. How many times? 1.
I will make sure that LaMetra Griffin knows that answer.
Anything else?
No.
Defense?
No.
Okay, we'll be back shortly then.
Okay, so Fox 6 investigator Brian Polson here at the Wisconsin Live Desk as court has once again gone into a brief afternoon recess. It is 2:45. We have heard from 4 witnesses since the afternoon session began. It was a continuation first of a Milwaukee police detective, followed by a sheriff's deputy, a sheriff's detective, and then a police officer from Waukegan, Illinois. We'll recap some of what we have heard this afternoon after we take this break here from the Wisconsin Live Desk.
So yeah, man, if you join us, hit that like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, click all. You know, get the news out there. It's a new little YouTuber trying to get into the space of showing court cases. I thought this was interesting. You know, everybody on the Diddy case, everybody following Donald Trump, and people like this, it's not getting a justice. You know, their cases is not being highlighted because it's hidden under what's going on in the big media. But Sade Robinson, she went on a date, allegedly, because he ain't been convicted yet, with this man, Maxwell, forgot his last name. Like I said, I ain't great at this, I'm new. But yeah, her body got chopped up, spread all over the city. They did their little investigation, and they claim it was him. And in America, they say, you know, cops and shit don't care about black people. If that's the case, they could have just let her case go unsolved. If they after this dude that bad, they want to pin a black girl murder on them. But that's what they tell us in the world. They don't care about us, and that's the narrative we push. In that case, this is a prime example where they could have just let her case go unsolved. But they didn't.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
I was going to give y'all a little background, but I'll let my man do
As we are in a recess, the court just took a couple of minutes ago. You can see that the clock on the wall shows 2:50 p.m. as they take what will probably be, I'm guessing, the final break of the afternoon, then maybe another hour and a half or so of continuous testimony. But you never know. Sometimes the court takes more than that. In any case, there we go. We've had 4, as I mentioned, 4 witnesses this afternoon. Nothing quite of the same consequence as what we heard this morning. Probably the most impactful witness of the day was the first, and that was Maxwell Anderson's tenant, former tenant Pete Worbington, who testified about what he heard and or didn't hear the night that Sade Robinson disappeared, and before her remains were found. We heard this afternoon from Milwaukee Police Detective John Guillot. He was recalled, as well as Milwaukee County Sheriff's Deputy Ethan Stout. Deputy Stout participated in the arrest of Maxwell Anderson. We saw some body camera video of that arrest. There really wasn't much of significance to that. They described how they essentially used a ruse to arrest him, what the detective essentially meant by that was they didn't tell him they were arresting him in connection to the death of Sade Robinson, but rather that they were performing a traffic stop because he had expired license plates, which police said was in fact true at that time. Nonetheless, Anderson appeared to comply. He was cooperative with officers. He did ask at one point, "What's this about?" The officers did not respond. There was an indication in the report that he seemed maybe a bit shaken or nervous or agitated. The defense asked some questions saying, is that not common? Someone who was maybe not particularly comfortable with police, or a lot of police officers and surrounding them, and the officer who was being interviewed at that time said that is actually common, or would be consistent with that. So I'm not really sure how much significant came out of that particular arrest. Maybe we'll hear in closing arguments why they believe, either one side or the other believes that was significant. We heard a quick recall of Matthew Vandertye. I thought this was interesting. The state recalled this detective who had been called much earlier in the trial. He was called on day 1, well, day 2, day 1 of testimony. Matthew Vandertye was originally the first person to talk about some of the digital evidence, particularly in this case from Sade Robinson's cell phone, and that was text messages that were recovered between Maxwell Anderson and Sade Robinson. And honestly, that's what kicked everything off in terms of investigators' interest in Maxwell Anderson as a suspect here, because those text messages showed that Sade Robinson and Maxwell Anderson had just met out to go out on a date together on April 1st at around 5, a little after 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and they were together as late as 9-something in the evening when they were still at another Milwaukee bar called Duke's on Water. He talked about having followed those, the officers, I don't know if it was Vandertye specifically, had talked about following some of the cell phone pings back down to Maxwell Anderson's home after their date. But the significance of calling him back, he was the 6th witness in the case. Shortly after he testified on Wednesday last week, we heard from building maintenance and from the co-worker of Sade Robinson about police coming to search the apartment when Sade Robinson had been reported missing. And the next morning, on Thursday, day 3 of the trial, we heard from Milwaukee police detectives who talked about what they found when they went inside. They found an apartment that showed no signs of a struggle. There was no sign of any kind of a break-in. Slightly messy apartment, but nothing out of the ordinary for a college student, which she was at MATC. But then the defense raised some questions. They wanted to get some evidence introduced about drugs that were found inside a safe. There were 47 pills, which police referred to as meth. They weren't clear on exactly what kind of a pill beyond that. It wasn't field tested, or it was field tested, it was not tested in a laboratory to know what it was. But there was reference to these pills being found along with some THC. Autopsy did not show any drugs in Sade Robinson's system, although it was a pretty unusual autopsy because of the manner in which the body parts were recovered independently and not as one whole. But the defense raised the question of, or wanted to introduce the evidence of the pills being found, the THC being found. And their argument to the court was, one possible theory is she was mixed up with some other troubling people who might have been violent, who might have posed a danger. Well, we didn't really hear much of anything more about that until just a few minutes ago when the state called Matthew Vandertye, because he's a Milwaukee County detective. He did the forensic examination of that phone. And so the prosecution went back and said, well, you looked at her phone. The defense has raised this prospect that maybe she was interacting with some dangerous people. Maybe she was buying and selling drugs. They asked, did you see any evidence of any communications about drugs on that phone? And the detective said no. And I think it was a pretty brief recall to bring him back up on the stand. It didn't seem like it had been planned earlier. They had another police officer from Waukegan, Illinois waiting to go. They held up on her and brought Vandertye back in. It seems as though they wanted to make sure they got on the record that if the defense is going to try to raise this alternate theory that maybe she was mixed up with some other dangerous people, well, there certainly wasn't any evidence of that on her cell phone. There was evidence she'd been communicating with Maxwell Anderson. Again, a lot of times when I tell you what we think the significance is, we're making our best educated guess because we haven't heard the closing arguments. We haven't heard how the state plans to sew all of this evidence together. We haven't heard the theory from the defense as to why they believe there is at least reasonable doubt, but we will hear all of that when, of course, testimony wraps up. After Matthew Vandertye, we heard from a police officer from Waukegan, Illinois. Her name is Brooke Tavajian, I believe. It's Tavajian. She is the officer who responded when there was discovery of another bit of human remains that washed up on Waukegan Beach. That is more than 50 miles south of Milwaukee, and it was Waukegan, Illinois, where an arm belonging to Sade Robinson surfaced nearly a month after her disappearance. In this case, now remember when the leg washed up in Warnemount Park, we heard detectives and we heard those who responded to the scene say that the leg appeared to be freshly intact. It did not appear to have decomposed. It didn't appear to have any particular signs of it having been there for a significant length of time. That was on April 2nd, which we now know was the day after she met with Maxwell Anderson. This was discovered in May, a month after, and by the time the arm is discovered, this detective, and I just warn you again, what I'm about to say is pretty graphic stuff, but the detective said that the arm appeared to be decomposed. It looked like body parts that you see that have been in a lake for a period of time, and in fact it looked like that it had potentially sustained bites from marine life, from sea life, from something in the water that was, obviously trying to feast on those remains. So by the time this other body part washes up in Waukegan, Illinois, it's clearly been in the water a while. It's presuming it was deposited in the same place as the leg that was discovered after the car smashes through the gate to go down by the pump house in Warnemount Park in Cudahy. It's floated 50 miles to the south and been in that water for nearly a month. So that's what she was talking about when it came time. The court, I think once both sides were done with the Waukegan police officer, the court asked, is anybody ready for a break here? She looks at the jury. She sees a couple of yes nods or some hands and says, okay, let's step away for a little while. We don't know how long this break will be. I suspect it'll be about a 10 to 15 minute break. So we've got a few more minutes to go. And then we'll get to the rest of the afternoon. We still have not heard some of the evidence we are expecting to, which is keep waiting for the discovery of what was on Maxwell Anderson's phone. We heard about that in opening statements. That seems that is going to be a key element in the state's case. We haven't heard that yet. Not sure what else remains to be seen, though. The state has covered a lot of ground. We've now gone from Cudahy, Warnemount Park. We've worked all the way up to the north side of Milwaukee where the car fire was, the scene near a couple of blocks away near 31st and Galena, the playground, the woods, the railroad tracks there where some of her remains and a blanket were discovered. We also know that there was all that video of Maxwell Anderson, or what the state says was Maxwell Anderson, but it seems pretty clear-cut that it was him based on the visuals later on, that you see him going from the scene of the car fire and walking all the way to a bus stop, getting on a Milwaukee County Transit bus and riding back to the south side, just within a few blocks of the home of Maxwell Anderson. So we've covered all of that ground, and today we saw inside Maxwell Anderson's home. I'm hearing now that the court is back. The judge is back on the bench, so we're going to send you back out to the Milwaukee County Safety Building for the afternoon of testimony.
Truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can please be seated, restate, and respell your name for the record.
Detective Joanne Donner, JOANN,
Detective Donner, you heard Officer Tavagian from Waukegan, Illinois testify about the recovery of the arm, right? Okay. Did you at some point after that arm was recovered go down to the Lake County, Illinois coroner's office yourself?
I did.
Why did you do that?
To retrieve a DNA standard from the arm so that we could compare it with Sade Robinson.
And a DNA standard from the arm recovered on the shores of Waukegan, Illinois, it was your understanding that that had been taken by the Lake County coroner?
Correct.
Did you, in fact, recover that DNA sample from the arm?
I did.
I'm going to show you 454. You know what this is?
Yes, this is what I recovered.
Okay. This is the DNA swab from the arm recovered in Waukegan, Illinois?
That is correct.
And were you able to discern between the arm in Waukegan, Illinois and the torso recovered in South Milwaukee? Were you able to come to any conclusion how those items got there, how those body parts got there?
Yes, that they would have traveled via the lake due to the currents in a southerly direction.
Is that something you actually looked into yourself?
I did.
Okay. Lastly, you also were part of transporting the arm from the Lake County Coroner's Office to the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner, correct?
That's correct. Once it was confirmed that it did belong to Sade, I went down and followed a transport company back to the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner.
That would have been in June of 2024?
That's correct.
Okay, and that's why Dr. Decker, when she was testifying earlier, she didn't examine the arm until June. That would be the reason?
That is correct. We were waiting for the DNA results.
To confirm that it was in fact Sade's?
That's correct.
Once that was confirmed, that's when you went down there?
Correct.
Nothing else?
Ross?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
State?
Recalling Detective Guillot.
Detective Guillot, you're still under oath.
Thank you.
State?
Detective, another role you played in this investigation was to look for surveillance video of locations that might be of note to the investigation, correct?
Correct.
Early on in the investigation, you were aware that exigency phone records were obtained, right?
That is correct, yes.
Did those records lead you to suspect that either Sade Robinson or Maxwell Anderson or both at some point went to the Twisted Fisherman restaurant?
Correct, yes.
Did you go to Twisted Fisherman and recover surveillance video?
I did, yes.
Who did you meet with to do that?
The owner, I believe his name was Russell Davis.
You went to the restaurant and talked to Mr. Davis?
I did, yes.
And then subsequently reviewed video footage from that restaurant?
That is correct, yes.
On the screen, I have a disc that's marked 235. Do you recognize what this is?
I do, yes. This is surveillance footage from the Twisted Fisherman located at 1200 West Canal Drive, I believe.
And that's?
City and County of Milwaukee.
Okay, and specifically down sort of in the Miller Valley, right?
Correct. Another landmark sort of by it is Potawatomi Bingo Casino.
And We Energies?
Correct, yes.
How many camera angles did you review and or recover?
I'm not exactly sure on the specific number. I know that there was an outside facing the deck area. There's another one on the other side facing east, and then there's multiple cameras inside the establishment.
This is one of those cameras?
Correct, yes.
And this would be looking at the west deck?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. All of these videos, what kind of system was it?
This was a Ring surveillance DVR system.
And the Ring logo is up here in the left corner?
That's correct, yes.
And date and time stamps on these videos were generally accurate?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, I'm going to move 235 in and ask to publish. I have numerous clips to play.
Any objection?
No.
Received. Go ahead.
So to orient us, we're looking sort of in a northwestern direction, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Where my mouse is here, that would be the river?
Correct.
All right. Let me get the volume on first. Some of these have, or all of them, I think, have volume, right?
Correct.
All right, playing the first clip, and for the record, the video titles, well, I guess I'll ask you, Detective. These video titles, as they're labeled on here, that's not what they were labeled when you download them. Those were renamed for court presentation purposes, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. I'm going to play the video labeled arrive. It ends in arriving west deck.mp4. That 14-second clip, I'm going to just go right to the beginning of it. It's a 14-second clip that starts at what time?
17:09 hours, which is 5:09 p.m. on April 1st, 2024.
Did you see anybody in that clip that you recognize?
Yes, I saw Mr. Maxwell Anderson.
And he does what?
He walks into the establishment from the west.
And he's alone?
Correct.
All right. Next clip, the end of it is titled Arrival Inside Bar. It's 2 minutes long. And as it plays, this is picking up at around the same time, 5:09 p.m.?
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to fast forward briefly.
What up? How you doing? Good to see you. How you been, man? I had no desire.
All right, the clip ended. Essentially, he comes in, he sits down next to who?
A bartender named Brian Culvert.
I'm going to show you 241. Just a screenshot of that first camera we watched.
Correct.
Okay, move 241 in, ask to publish. No objection.
Received.
Just so the jury can see. All right. That's Mr. Anderson.
That is Mr. Anderson. That is correct.
And what were you able to observe that he's wearing?
Mr. Anderson's wearing a black and color Carhartt t-shirt, appears to be wearing a red and color flannel over that t-shirt, and blue jeans. And his hairstyle is in a bun fashion.
I'm going to go back to Exhibit 235 here. And if you're looking at my screen now, there's basically, it's just a bunch of clips, ring clips that you were able to recover, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. We're not going to watch all of them, but why don't we pick up this clip picks up at what time, Detective?
17:19 hours, which again is 5:19 p.m.
Okay, so this is about 9 to 10 minutes after he arrived?
That's correct, yes.
He's seated alone at the bar, and that employee is now moved behind the bar, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Playing that clip in fast forward. And what is Mr. Anderson, what has he ordered that you can see?
It appears that he just ordered a beer.
Okay. The next clip on that you were able to recover picks up at what time?
That is 17:21 hours on the footage, so 5:21 p.m.
And at this time, someone is seated next to Mr. Anderson now, correct?
That's correct, yes.
I'm going to go back out, playing the video. It ends in arriving twisted fisherman. Play that from the beginning.
So if you just joined us, that is Sade Robinson. Some of the last videos she was ever seen walking into the bar. The killer, alleged killer, is already at the bar and they meeting up for the first time. Click that like, share, subscribe. You know, help a brother out.
Pause that clip at 16 seconds. What did we just observe?
We observed Sade Robinson walking into the Twisted Fisherman from the east.
And that was at about 5:20?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
I don't know if he been in jail. I don't know if he free, but this situation has changed his view because he went from a cool-looking surfer dude on the beach with the ponytail to like the old school garbage pail kids.
So by 5:21, they're seated together at the bar.
Correct.
Look at the difference between how he looked back then versus to how he look now. That jail life or that stress life is tearing his ass up. That's her on her first last date. You know what I'm saying? Her first last date. This is some of the last time we ever seen this female. Must be hard for her family to sit here and watch this video, you know. It's crazy.
All right, that last clip for the record picks up at 17:21:40 is the timestamp on it. That's how I'm gonna keep the record of the clips we're watching. They're just sitting there next to each other. It's not even talking at that point, right?
That is correct, yes.
Eventually, did they get food?
Yes.
Drinks?
Correct, yes.
I'm going to pull up a clip. What time does this clip start, Detective?
17:42 hours, which again, 5:42 p.m.
And by this time,
not being funny, but that guy right there, that guy, the way he looked now, he couldn't have got homegirl back then. He got homegirl back then because he was that pretty looking surfer dude. Right now, she wouldn't even probably would have responded to his goddamn text.
At 5:42, they're eating food, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Because at the end of this approach, it was
What was happening in that clip?
It appears that they're just having a casual conversation with the bartender, and the bartender later pours out a shot.
The next clip picks up at what time?
17:44 hours, 5:44 p.m.
And 20 seconds?
Correct.
Playing this clip.
Okay. So, yeah. I've been there with some really good people. So, check it out.
All right. And in that clip, did all three of them do the shot together?
That's correct. I believe I heard the bartender say cheers, which then proceeded them to all do the shot together, yes.
And Sade has what appears to be in front of her some kind of food, and then there looks like there's a cocktail and perhaps a water?
That's fair, yes.
Okay. The next clip I'm playing picks up at 5:48:26, and again, that shot that they did was at 5:44?
Correct.
Okay.
So Maxwell Anderson, I'm gonna go ahead. They smell so good though, I'm gonna go, I can't cut it right now, it's done working, so. Oh, at the end, okay, so. Yeah, so. My two chefs at the station, and then I actually like it. I like my. Yeah, I do. We don't have a wall, because there's a office, but I'm gonna go in the kitchen, and fill out the faucet.
In that clip, what happens?
It appears that Mr. Anderson briefly steps away to possibly use the restroom, and then in the meantime, Miss Robinson is just having casual conversation with the bartender.
Next clip I have up starts at what time?
17:58 hours, which is 5:58 p.m.
Honestly, I can't even finish this. No. No. It's part of the day. And I really don't want to go off, so. That's why, yeah. You're the government, you're just saying, competition campaigns, so I think, so.
That clip shows us the bartender clearing their plates, right?
Correct, yes.
So that's around 6 p.m.
Correct.
Done eating, both of their plates getting cleared.
That is correct, yes.
Next clip picks up. What's the time that this picks up to the second detective?
1,800 hours, 47 seconds, which 6 p.m.
friends that are not in the industry don't understand it.
Paused that clip at 15 seconds. Bartender gives another beer to Mr. Anderson.
That is correct, yes.
That's his guy.
She having her last meal on her last date, and it's just crazy how the world works. Like hours, days, weeks after her body was cut up and spread all over the city, man. Hit that like, share, subscribe, man. Show me you appreciate me, because I damn sure appreciate the views I get.
There we go.
Got the reggae music playing in the back.
I'll try it. The back of my left hand is just, I cannot put it on my shirt. What's that? I think it's some other shit, because I have, so I think what I do is when I put socks, I basically wrap up my hand and I put socks on. So I look at a new word maybe and I go, oh, and I'm like, I still end up watching it.
All right, that clip ended. I was trying to stop it right at the end here, but. Somewhere just prior to 6:03 p.m., correct?
Correct.
And so Mr. Anderson got another beer, and then it looks like the bartender does what?
He goes and obtains their check.
So to this point, and I know we didn't watch all of the clips, but you've watched all of them, right?
That's correct, yes.
How he's had 2 beers and a shot, is that fair?
That's fair, yes.
And Ms. Robinson, 1 drink and a shot?
That's fair to say, yes.
Were there more drinks ordered, do you recall?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Next clip picks up. At what time?
That's 18:02 hours with 50 seconds, which is 6:02 p.m.
It's right where the last one left off.
That is correct.
Yes, sir. Oh, the mission.
Paused at 22 seconds in this first part of the clip. It looks like Mr. Calvert and Mr. Anderson do like a fist bump, right?
Correct, yes.
And then it seems he's offering up another shot, correct?
Correct.
How does Sade respond to that?
Believe she...
That we just saw.
I believe she declines it.
Okay, I'll play it again. I'm going back to 9 seconds.
Oh, the mission. All right. $5 every day. $5 every day for 3 seconds.
Paused at 32 seconds. Were you able to tell there?
Yeah, so it appears that the bartender puts down 2 shot glasses, and when he puts down the shot glass in front of Miss Robinson, she kind of makes like a right hand motion indicating that she's declining it.
And what does the bartender do with the shot glass?
I believe, I'm not exactly sure what he did with hers.
Okay, I'll back it up here. Playing from 12 seconds.
Sound like she said she good.
Did you see it there?
I did, yes. He physically picks up the shot glass and puts it in front of Mr. Anderson.
Playing at 26.
Sound like she said I'm done.
Yeah, actually, I can make you all Charlie Fisher shot. Go on one? Okay, just gonna take a second.
Sound like she said I'm all set again.
I've seen multiple restaurants. I swear to God, the restaurants on I think they don't really yeah, I'll go. Why do you red stripes? The worst thing I've ever smoked in my life. I go, there's water in Milwaukee and
Hey man, he was trying to give out free shots. He was trying to help his homeboy knock down the black girl. He was like, man, my man came in here with the black girl. Let me get him some extra shots. Get her a little tipsy, help him out a little bit. But she said she ain't want none, so that shows she was aware. And man, I'm good. She just going on, she's talking, she's having a great date, not knowing these was the last hours, days, moments of her life. She don't even know it. Clearly, she's not even, her radar ain't going off. She don't feel she with a bad guy. And sad to say, this was her last. Not saying he did it, allegedly. He's on trial for it, allegedly.
All right, I paused it just before the end of the clip. The timestamp is what?
18:04 hours and 52 seconds.
Okay, sorry, I pulled it away before you could read it. The next clip picks up at what time?
18:04 hours and 54 seconds.
How you doing, darling? Yeah, long time no see. Been busy. Well, there we go. Yeah. More of those shopping events, so it's very charging. Shopping. Watch, so you're gonna mix your ones, so there we go. Let's go. Cheers. So very nice to meet you. Maxwell, pleasure to see
So
you.
after saying she didn't want a shot, she took a shot.
Like I said, I talked to you on the phone. But I was not bad. Yeah. Young ladies,
All right, and in that clip that just ended, that was about a 2-minute clip, give or take. What did we observe?
Observed the bartender make some type of alcoholic beverage, and then the three of them, he pours the beverage into 3 shot glasses, and the 3 of them do the shot together.
Okay, so he gives that shot to both Sade and Mr. Anderson.
That's correct, yes.
I'm gonna advance a little bit here. Next clip picks up at, what time do we got?
18:21 hours and 16 seconds.
All right, so just a few minutes after they just did the other shot?
Correct.
Okay.
This is exactly right. Yeah. Is it all the way down the thing?
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah.
I can't predict the future, so I don't know what else we're going to see in this trial, but she's getting ready to leave, and might be the last video or anything that our family sees, which is crazy because she disappears after this, and then a month later her pieces started being found in different places, and her car was found burned up. So as their family, they probably have this video to watch because it's probably some of the last video footage they have, but it's like a catch-22 because the murderer is actually in this video.
So, we also that's a good spot. Yeah. It's a really good spot. Like craft cocktails. Yeah, I have not heard this word before. So, all right, not walking. Sure. Okay, excellent. So, good to see you. So.
Here's just another thought, like, they came separately, so did he not have a car and he took a cab there or Uber there because, or did she not have a car? Did she come in an Uber? Like, y'all came separately, but maybe they'll talk about it. Maybe they already talked about it. I just started this today.
All right, that clip looks like they're getting up to leave.
That's correct, yes.
I'm going to go to the next clip. Does this one pick up right where the other one just left off, or at least appear to?
That's correct, yes, at 18:23 hours and 21 seconds.
So many guys. Hey, if you ever Yeah. We're all conservative, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah, well, they're flawed. Yeah. That's sufficient enough time. And then it says, you know, where you go. Yeah, that's fine. Right, great guy, I already have, so. Thank you so much. Anytime. Bye. Good luck, guys. You too.
Pause this clip at 1 minute and 3 seconds in. The timestamp is 18:24:25. They've just headed for the exit, right?
That's correct. They say bye to the bartender, and they both exit the establishment together.
Okay. This video's titled Leaving Twisted Fisherman. What camera are we looking at here?
We're looking at the exit/entrance camera to the east, which shows out towards the parking lot.
And the timestamp, April 1st, 2024, what time?
18:24 hours and 20 seconds.
In that clip, they leave, they're exiting to the east, and then they turn the corner of the building, correct?
That is correct, yes.
So in some, Detective Mr. Anderson arrives at about 5:09 p.m.
Correct.
Miss Robinson at roughly 5:20.
Correct, yes.
They sit there next to each other at the bar.
Correct.
They eat.
Correct.
They have drinks.
Correct.
And 2 shots total.
Correct, yes.
Okay. And at 6:24, they get up and leave together.
That is correct, yes.
Did you have another detective check and see if there was other video of them leaving near the We Energies facilities near that location?
That is correct. That was Detective Joe Blanchard.
Okay. And then I have Exhibit 240, which has already been entered into evidence. This is a screenshot from that same camera. What is Sade wearing?
Sade is wearing a black puffer jacket. Underneath appears to be a white knitted sweatshirt. Blue/white wash jeans with cuts towards the knees and the thigh of her body. And then white, I would say, tennis shoes. She's also appears to be carrying a black bag in her left hand.
Okay. And when she's inside, she has her jacket off. You can see that she's wearing the long sleeve sweater.
That is correct, yes.
And it kind of goes midway down her torso.
That is correct, yes.
I have no other questions.
Cross?
So just to recap, the two of them basically just hung out at Twisted Fisherman.
I would classify that as yes. They just had casual conversation from what it appeared.
And the guy you mentioned before is named Brian Culvert, right? That's somebody you talked about?
That's correct, yes.
Because you questioned him?
I interviewed him.
And he's the guy that was working behind the bar?
Correct, yes.
You've watched all these tapes before court here today, obviously, on other occasions.
That's correct, yes.
And Mr. Culvert appears friendly with Max Anderson, doesn't he?
That is correct, yes.
Calls him an incredible guy.
I don't recall hearing that.
Well, at the end, he says, Max, so good to see you, as he's shaking his hand and leaning across the bar. You saw that.
I saw that. I didn't hear that.
Oh, you didn't hear either of those things?
I heard the name Max. I didn't hear the incredible guy portion.
Okay. Who carded Sade?
I don't believe she was carded.
Did they ever ask her age or anything?
Objection relevance.
Well, they just spent all this time talking about shots.
It's fine.
I'll withdraw the objection.
I'll allow him to answer. Go ahead.
Could you just ask your question one more time?
Was she carded?
I don't believe so.
Or asked to provide any identification at all from what you saw?
From what I saw, I don't believe so.
And it looks to me like Brian Culvert is just on his own pouring shots for people.
I'm going to object to this line of questioning at this point. If we're getting into him serving her underage, it's not relevant to this trial
It
at
isn't
all.
relevant. I mean, you got in the part relative to the alcohol.
Well, you testified on direct about shots being poured, right?
That is correct.
Okay. And my question about the shots, not about the underage aspect, my question about the shots is, did Max order those shots?
I don't know who ordered what shots.
Right. You don't hear anybody order those shots.
I don't believe so.
From what it appears, from what you watched, is that the bartender is just pouring them on his own volition, right?
That's correct. But again, I can hear some of the audio in the video. I can't hear all the audio in the video.
Right. Okay. And they eat a meal, right?
Correct, yes.
Each of them, from what you can tell?
From what I can tell, yes.
And it's clear to you, isn't it, that Max is known at this Twisted Fisherman place, right?
Yeah, it appears that him and the bartender know each other, yes.
Very friendly with each other.
I would say so, yes.
That's all.
State anything?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's interesting. I don't know how much is going to play into it, but she was being served. She was only like 19, so she was being served alcohol and she was underage.
State your next witness.
I'm going to recall Detective Blanchard.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can please be seated, restate, and respell your name for the record, please.
Joseph Blanchard, Joseph Blanchard, Blanchar.
Detective Blanchard, you assisted in this investigation also by trying to get video from We Energies down in the valley, correct?
That is correct.
And if you look to your right on the screen, were you aware that there was video recovered from Twisted Fisherman depicting Sade and Maxwell Anderson being at that establishment?
Yes.
Did you subsequently obtain video footage from We Energies showing the approximate arrivals and departures of those people?
I did, yes.
I'm going to pull up, this is Exhibit 236. There were multiple camera angles from We Energies that you found, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Exhibit 236, the first clip I have up is titled uberdrop.mov. What are we looking at here?
It is a western view of the camera on, I believe, St. Paul. I'm not sure what 100 block that would be, exactly where the camera is, but it's right in front of the Twisted Fisherman, which the structure is right on our right. It's like a beige structure.
Okay, so where I'm circling here, that would be Twisted Fisherman?
Yes, that's correct.
We got Potawatomi over here on the left that I'm circling now?
Yes.
Okay, and this video clip is going to show what in sum?
A vehicle arriving and pulling just into the front of the driveway of Twisted Fisherman, which is that first access point, stops there and then slowly rolls forward straight to the west entrance. That's the area of the west entrance of Twisted Fisherman.
Do you recall what time this clip is from?
Yes, it's from the 1st of April, 5:09 hours, and I believe there is a timestamp embedded in the video if you need help finding it.
Okay, and that vehicle that we just watched pull in, that's the Uber you're talking about?
Yes, looks like a SUV of some sort.
Right here that I'm circling?
Correct.
Okay. And I would move the entirety of 236 into evidence.
Any objection?
No.
It's received.
I played that clip to 19 seconds. I'm going to go to the next clip. What are we looking at here?
This is a different angle. Right on top of the screen is the east side exit and entrance area of Toasted Fisherman with a parking lot that is adjacent to it.
This clip is from what time on April 1st?
Around 5:09 on the other side, I believe it's 6:24.
Okay.
About, I believe, when this is the exit.
You were aware of what time they were on video coming and going, right?
Yes.
Okay.
If you just tuned in, this is the trial of Sade Robinson, well, Maxwell Anderson, but the killing of Sade Robinson. And we looking at video on how they arrived and how they left. This is the live court video. Click that like, share, subscribe, hit the bell so you can get notifications every time. You know how they go.
So where do we want to be looking? All right, right where I'm circling here?
Yes, at the top of the screen, right in the center. Behind that vehicle is a chain link fence.
The video kind of skips, but we can see what?
Two individuals exiting the east side of the Twisted Fisherman.
And then they go around the front of the building?
They do.
Are you aware from the Twisted Fisherman who those individuals are?
I am, yes.
Who are they?
Sade Robinson and Maxwell Anderson.
Back to this other clip. This is them walking outside the restaurant together.
Yep, now along the west, walking westward direction in front of the building.
And they appear to be walking together, leaving the restaurant together.
Yes.
Where are they walking to?
The west side parking lot where Sade's vehicle was parked.
Okay. And last clip, I'm sorry, I didn't
So he came in an Uber and she came in her own car.
announce the time that I stopped that one. All right, I'm stopping it at 44 seconds. So right here where I'm circling, there's some trees and whatnot. Do you know from other angles if that's where her car is parked?
From looking at this video and seeing some small movement behind the trees, the vehicle was parked there.
Okay, and then let's go to the final clip. Different angle, but in this one you can actually see where her car is parked, correct?
Correct.
I'm gonna zoom in. I'm circling right here, two people, that'd be Sade and Mr. Anderson.
Correct, leaving the restaurant, excuse me.
All right, playing from 0 minutes, 0 seconds. It kind of skips, correct?
It does.
But you can see them walking together.
Yes.
All right, and right here where I'm circling, what's that?
That is her vehicle parked facing the direction of the camera.
Do they appear to both get in the vehicle?
They do.
And what time was that at?
About 6:24 or 5 at that time.
So the Uber drop-off was at 5:09. They were in the restaurant, they left at 6:24, both going towards Sade Robinson's car.
That is correct.
Nothing else?
Defense?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
State your next witness.
State calls Russell Davis.
Sir, if you could just remain standing and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, if you can please be seated, state and spell your name for the record.
Russell Davis, spelled Russelldavis.
Mr. Davis, are you associated with the restaurant Twisted Fisherman?
I am, yes.
How?
I am the sole member, owner of the LLC, Twisted Fisherman,
Where is that located?
at 1200 West Canal Street, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
At some point in time, did you employ someone named Maxwell Anderson?
Yes, for approximately 3 weeks in 2023.
Do you see that person in the courtroom today?
I do.
Can you describe where they're sitting and what they're wearing, please?
They're sitting on my left side in the courtroom, wearing a green shirt and white t-shirt.
I'd ask the record to reflect the identification of the defendant.
Any objection?
No.
The record will so reflect.
You employed him just for 3 weeks.
Approximately, yes.
How would you describe the level of your knowledge of him?
Very brief knowledge.
At some point on April 5th, 2024, did the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office...
Hey, man, I hate to be, who I am, but the black people back there must be a family. They ready to kill somebody, kick ass. They ready for whatever coming. I just had to say that.
come to the Twisted Fisherman?
Yes, they did.
And did you assist them with obtaining surveillance footage from the Twisted Fisherman?
Yes, I did.
Did you also view that video while you were helping the detectives with it?
Yes, somewhat.
And in that video, did you see Maxwell Anderson depicted?
Yes,
And was that from the date of April 1st, 2024?
it was.
I'm showing you what's been marked Exhibit 241 and previously received. Do you recognize that?
Yes,
And who is that depicted in that photo?
Maxwell Anderson.
And is that the outside of the Twisted Fisherman?
Yes, it is.
Were you asked to view any other photographs by members of the Sheriff's Department?
Yes, there was a picture on a bus as well.
Showing you what's been marked Exhibit 204. Does that look familiar?
Yes,
Who is that?
Maxwell Anderson.
Nothing further.
Defense?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Davis, you may step down. State your next witness.
Judge, would it be possible to take a 5-minute recess?
Sure. Please leave your notebooks on your chair. We'll be back with you very quickly. Thank you, everybody. Anything to address on the record, State?
No.
Defense?
No.
Okay.
Outside, which actually showed have some food, they have a couple of shots, they have a drink or two, and then they leave together. And this is the first time we saw the surveillance video outside, which actually showed the two of them walking out of the building, around the corner of the building, into a parking lot, and then getting into a vehicle together. It was small, it was kind of grainy in the distance, but it appeared very clear that those same two figures who left together were the ones that got into that car. The defense did not object to the state's characterization of that. So it seems clear that there is agreement, stipulation, that in fact Sade and Maxwell Anderson left the bar together, got in Sade Robinson's car together, and left from there. We now have the owner of Twisted Fisherman who is on the stand. You saw that the owner positively identified Maxwell Anderson from one of the photos from that video from his own surveillance system as he came, and that's it right there. He's walking in the door wearing that hoodie. He has his hair in what would be commonly described as a man bun, wearing dark pants, the dark t-shirt. And then he heads inside. We see Sade Robinson as she arrives. She is wearing the light-colored stonewashed blue jeans with holes in the knees and the thighs, and is wearing a jacket with a white sweater underneath. That comes into play later. Of course, the jury's already seen this, but we saw that when the car fire was set, when her car was set ablaze on the north side of Milwaukee, there was clothing in the trunk. That clothing included light-colored stonewashed jeans with holes in them, similar to what was described there. The state said it's the same clothing that she was wearing on her date with Maxwell Anderson, among other things that were in that trunk. We also heard in the last several minutes from Detective Joanne Donner, who made her third appearance on the stand. She talked about going down to Waukegan, Illinois, to collect DNA from the arm that had washed ashore there so that they could match that to the remains of Sade Robinson. In fact, ultimately, they did get a positive match. We also heard once again, for the third time, from John Guillot, Milwaukee police detective, who was presenting some of that video evidence that we just talked about from inside Twisted Fisherman. I suspect where we're going to go next is where they went next, and that is to Duke's on Water, which is a bar in downtown Milwaukee. Whatever surveillance video or images have been collected there is likely where we're going to be seeing the state go after they are finished with Russell Davis, the owner of Twisted Fisherman. They've taken a brief break and will be coming back momentarily, and we will take a break here right now and come back right after this.
So as you see, that's what's going on.
His landlord, Max Anderson, he said, was flexible with when you could stick right here on this stream.
The Sade Robinson trial. We seen videos of her coming to this date and leave the date with the dude, which turned out to be deadly for her.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Fox 6 investigator Brian Polson here at the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is 3:55 on Monday afternoon. We are late in the day of the fifth day of the Maxwell Anderson trial, fourth day of testimony. We are going to be here. The court is in a brief recess. If they come back in the next few minutes, we may take you back out there shortly, but we're going to be here coming out of this pretty quickly as we head into the 4 o'clock news. You'll see Fox 6 News at 4 on our primary stream. But if you want to keep watching testimony through the end of the day, you can watch on the Fox 6 News Milwaukee YouTube channel, and you can get that link by going to Fox Local. So you can watch the trial, you can watch it uninterrupted there. But if you want to watch our news coverage of what's happened so far today, you can stick right here on this stream with Fox 6 News at 4, 5, and 6. You'll also see Fox 6 News at 9 and 10, and get all of the basically the breakdown, the analysis, the basics of what has happened so far today. We have seen up until now, looks like 10 witnesses who have testified today. A couple have appeared twice. One of them, John Guillot, detective, has been called a couple of times to talk about a variety of things, most recently that surveillance video inside Twisted Fisherman. Probably one of the more interesting characters on the stand today was Pete Worbington. Pete Worbington was the tenant who lived downstairs in Maxwell Anderson's home at 3161 South 39th Street in Milwaukee. He testified to not having heard anything in the middle of the night that this all allegedly happened. He didn't hear any loud noises. He didn't hear a struggle. He didn't hear anything that sounded like saws or screams, power tools, anything like that. He says he's a light sleeper and he would have heard it. He would have been a defense witness. The state called him, perhaps strategically, on their own to ask some questions of their own. I don't see the court coming back in with just a couple of minutes left. I'm probably going to carry you right up to 4 o'clock when the news begins here, and then you can go watch the rest of the afternoon, which will probably go another 45 minutes or so, maybe up to an hour, on the Fox 6 News Milwaukee YouTube stream. Again, the first person, Pete Worbington rather, he talked about Maxwell Anderson and knowing the family going way back, because Maxwell Anderson's dad was his Little League baseball coach. But Worbington says he left Milwaukee, left Wisconsin, was gone for 18 years, and came back a couple of years ago needing a place to stay, to be closer to work in Milwaukee. He saw that Anderson had listed a place for rent, and so he checked in, inquired about it, and said the price was right. It was $1,000 a month, and his landlord, Max Anderson, he said, was flexible with when and how he paid him, so it was a good fit for him. That said, he seemed to have some
to be at certain places.
Yes.
After departing Twisted Fisherman, where was it believed that Miss Robinson had traveled to?
She traveled to Water Street, which is Duke's on Water.
Is that a bar?
That is a bar.
It's on the corner of what?
Water and Juneau.
There are a number of different bars, taverns on that stretch of Water Street, correct?
Correct.
Did you attempt to, did your department retrieve video from Duke's on Water that in fact confirmed that Miss Robinson had gone there?
Yes.
Did you also try to get video from a City of Milwaukee camera that is situated on Water Street?
Yes.
Where is the camera that you tried to get video footage from?
It is a Milwaukee Police Department pole camera, which is on Water and Highland.
Why does your department have pole cameras up and down Water Street?
Because Water Street is a busy area during bar hours, and we want video of what is going on.
It's a bar district, right?
Correct.
And have you utilized these cameras before?
Yes.
There are pole cameras in other parts of the city as well, but they tend to be in places more frequented, correct?
Correct.
Did you in fact get video that showed the time and manner by which Miss Robinson arrived on Water Street?
Yes.
How did she get there?
In a 2020 Honda Civic.
Was she driving it?
She was.
And was she with anybody?
Yes.
Okay. And this pole camera footage that you got, did it capture the exact times that Miss Robinson arrived and left in the Honda Civic?
It did.
Give me 1 second here. All right, I'm going to pull up on a disc marked Exhibit 237. There are 3 video clips. All right, Detective, why don't you orient us a little bit?
Yes. So what you are looking at is Water Street. You are looking northbound on Water Street. You see a red building on the top left corner, and then there's a security car on the top right corner.
Where I'm circling?
Yes.
All right, and then the red building here?
Yes.
And so the intersection that would be sort of on the bottom of the screen here, although you can't see it on the camera view, would be Highland, right?
That is correct.
The next street up north, as we're looking, would be Juneau?
Correct.
And where is Duke's on Water related to this camera footage?
It is
the top left corner. So Duke's on Water would be the northwest corner on Water and Juno.
So basically, to get to Duke's, one would simply walk up this sidewalk here, cross the street at the next intersection, and it's right there.
Correct.
And what are we going to, where should we be looking here when I'm going to play this?
You should be looking at the security card, which is on the top right corner, which is on the east side of the street.
There's no date and timestamp on the video frame, right?
Correct.
But what timestamp are we looking at? Or what time is this video from?
This video is from April 1st, 2024 at 6:31 p.m. and 59 seconds.
Okay. I'm going to advance this video clip and I would move 237 into evidence.
Any objection?
No.
Proceed.
I'm going to advance this video clip to 1 minute and 10 seconds. So if we go 1 minute and 10 seconds into the video, we would be taken up to approximately what?
You'd be taken up to approximately 6:33 p.m.
And were you aware of the approximate time that Miss Robinson departed from from Twisted Fisherman in her Honda Civic?
I do not.
Okay. I'm going to play this video from 1 minute, 10 seconds. What do we see?
You see the Honda Civic.
It just pulled up on the right side of the screen here?
Yes.
Security car did what?
Security card took off. It went northbound on Water Street.
Did someone just get out of the front passenger seat?
Yes.
I paused it at 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Not Miss Robinson, right?
No.
Playing from there? Now what's happening?
Now Mr. Robinson is getting out of the driver's seat.
And where are they walking to?
They are walking westbound on Water Street.
They check the door of that tavern?
Correct.
Not open, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then where do they go?
They go northbound on Water Street.
Off camera?
Yep, off camera.
Pausing it at 3:07, so this would have occurred around 6:33 p.m.?
Yes.
I'm going to advance the video, and if you look at the bottom, you see that the clip is a total of 2 hours, 38 minutes, and 41 seconds, correct?
That is correct.
Advancing the video to 2 hours, 32 minutes, 40 seconds. All right, it's now clearly nighttime, right?
Yes.
What time would this be about in real time?
This would be approximately 9:04 p.m.
Playing at 2:32:40. All right, paused at 2:34:05. Summarize what we just saw.
You've seen the two individuals that walked that way. They came back to the vehicle. They got inside the vehicle, and then the vehicle then drove northbound on Water Street.
I have it picking back up at 2:32:40 at the beginning of that clip I just played. At this point, we see the two individuals walking, Miss Robinson, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, when she approaches the car, I paused it at 2:32:56. Does it appear she hits a key fob of some kind?
Yes.
And how are you making that determination?
Because the rear tail lights, there's two blinks on the rear tail lights.
Two blinks?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to play it at 2:32:56. Right there?
Yes.
Okay. Paused at 2:33:07. The two blinks, in your experience, that would be consistent with like someone hitting the unlock button on a fob?
Yes.
All right. Then they drive off. That's about what time?
About 9:04, 9:05-ish.
Miss Robinson gets into which seat?
She gets into the driver's seat.
Does she appear to be struggling to stand or walk in that brief period you can see her walking there?
No.
I'm going to play the next clip.
So we know from the bar, from the first bar, I think they went to a second bar, and now they leaving together. But he's saying he ain't did it. I don't know.
That first one is video title. It's the only one that says Water and Highland on it. The next one is going to be a clip that is titled, in the title it says Water Juno. And it's camera, and then it says camera dash 02. All right, we're looking at what now?
Now you are looking at a camera on Water and Juno. The camera view is facing southwest.
And Dukes is on this upper corner here in the right.
That is correct.
Playing this clip, it's 56 seconds. What are we seeing?
The same individuals that got into the Honda Civic exited Duke at approximately 9:03 p.m. and are now walking southbound on Water Street.
And he puts his arm around her there, correct?
That is correct.
And they continue walking?
Yes.
She's not stumbling or anything, is she?
No, she is not.
They doing a lot for a first date.
And then the last clip. Similar angle, or similar view, correct?
Similar view, but this view is now facing southbound on Water Street from Juno and Water.
All right. So Miss Robinson's car is going to be up here on the upper left?
Correct.
And we're going to see them walking on the right side here, correct?
Correct.
Hugged up. Or he had his arm around her, you should say. You could say.
At this point, they're on the west sidewalk,
Yes, they are.
up where my mouse is?
Yes.
Okay. Now they're crossing the street?
Yes, they're crossing the street going eastbound.
and paused at 135. I'm gonna back it up from there. Did you see the two blinks again?
I did.
Okay, I'm gonna play it again from 125. She gets in what seat?
She gets in the driver's seat.
All right, I'm gonna fast forward the video slightly. All right, and then she pulls off northbound on Water Street.
Correct.
And that last one was Water in Juneau, camera 05. I'm gonna switch gears, detective, bringing up exhibit 238, which is on a flash drive. I'm going to start with channel 1 here. I've got this, the video is queued up to April 1, 2024, 6:36:08 p.m. is the clip I'm on right now. What are we looking at, detective? Where's this video from?
This video is from Dukes on Water.
I'd move exhibit 238 in.
Any objection?
No.
It's received.
Is the date and time stamp on the Dukes on Water video accurate or off at all?
I believe it is accurate.
Okay, so I'm gonna play this clip from 6:36:08 p.m. And for the record, when I'm pulling up the clips, I'm gonna go by the timestamp on the video screen. And the reason I'm doing that, detective, when you went through these, as I'm showing you on my screen, there's hundreds of video clips, correct?
Correct.
Some of them, and this is just channel 1, but some of them are only merely seconds long, fair?
Yes.
And some are hours long?
Yes.
Okay. And I think this for camera 1, down in the corner, there's 214 clips, right?
Correct.
All right. You watched these clips. Were you able to determine some of the cameras just had absolutely no relevance, like they showed the basement or something like that?
Yes, the basement and storage.
Okay. All right. I have camera 1 up. This is 6:36:08 p.m. It's a 1-minute clip. What are we seeing?
You are seeing the two individuals that got out of the Honda Civic walking up to Dukes and going inside Dukes.
At 6:36 p.m.?
That is correct.
That would be consistent with them walking from their car where they parked around 6:33?
Absolutely, yes.
Pause that clip at 23 seconds. I'm going to go back to channel 1. The clip picking up at 8:30 and 10 seconds p.m. And for the record, detective, some of these clips were renamed for purposes of courtroom presentation. Is that right?
That is correct.
All right. What's happening at 8:30 and 10 seconds?
The subject who got out of the car with Sade Robinson is now outside smoking a cigarette.
You see that subject in court?
I do.
Can you identify him? I'll stipulate.
The record will so reflect.
Is that the defendant?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll speed this up slightly. All right, stopping it at 2:18. Last clip from camera 1, picking up at 9:03 and 24 seconds. What do we see?
Now you see Mr. Robinson and Mr. Anderson leaving the bar on Duke's.
So they got there at 6:36?
They got inside Duke's at 6:36 and they left at 9:03.
Okay. I'm gonna go to channel 9. This is just a different camera of that same door, correct?
Correct.
And he's outside smoking at 8:30?
Yes.
Okay. And then if I go, this is at 8:31 and 7 seconds. Showing you exhibit, doesn't have a number. I got a sticker. This is going to be 456. What are we looking at?
We are looking at 3 different pictures. The first picture is a booking photo of Maxwell Anderson. The second photo is Maxwell Anderson on a bus. And then the third photo is Maxwell Anderson, who is smoking a cigarette outside of Duke's on Water, which is the clip that we just watched.
Okay, and the bus photo is the one that's on the screen marked 204 here, correct?
Correct.
All right, I'm going to move 456 in as published.
Any objection?
No.
456 is admitted, and you may.
And it's just a side-by-side of those 3 images, correct?
That is correct.
Booking photo on the left, bus video photo in the middle, and smoking a cigarette at Duke's on Water on the right, correct?
Correct.
Back to the video here. Going to go to camera number 4. All right, this clip picks up at 6:36. It's very hard to see, but I think it says 30 seconds PM. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to play and orient us now. Where's the entry door that they go in?
The entry door is on the left.
Off the screen to the left over here.
Correct.
All right, and where are they going to sit?
They are going to sit on the bar, at the bar, the last 2 chairs on the bar.
These 2?
Yes.
Okay. Playing that clip from 6:36 and 30 seconds. You see the bartender greeting the defendant?
I do.
Okay. Then a bouncer walks over with Sade?
Yes.
And she takes a seat.
Correct.
All right, I'm going to speed it up slightly here. What are they doing?
They are talking to the bartender right now.
The bartender just did what?
Provided a drink to Mr. Anderson.
And now what's she doing?
Making a drink for Mr. Robinson.
All right, and Miss Robinson has just gotten up?
Yes,
Where does she go?
to the bathroom.
All right, and she returns to the bathroom at what time?
6:41:08.
I'm sorry, returns from the bathroom. And then they just essentially sit there for a while, correct?
Correct.
All right, I've got that clip paused at 6:42:08 p.m. Gonna go to the next clip. This clip picking up at 7:10 p.m. And in the time span between these, are they essentially just sitting there and talking?
Yes,
Okay. Anything notable happen?
they're just talking, drinking.
All right, we're about 7:10 and 47 seconds. The defendant's showing her his phone.
Yes,
7:11 p.m. he removes his jacket.
that's correct.
Okay. Going to advance the video to 1 minute and 50 seconds in. This is 7:12:15 p.m. What's the bartender doing?
She is talking to Mr. Anderson, and it looks like they're playing dice.
I'm going to play this in fast forward. Mr. Anderson is playing a dice game with another patron to his left, not Sade?
That is correct.
All right, and the bartender's there too, correct?
Yes,
And she's doing what?
the bartender was.
Not the bartender, Sade.
Sade is just sitting there.
All right, and what happened just now?
Maxwell Anderson finished his drink, and the bartender provided him with another drink.
What's the bartender doing now?
She is getting shots.
And the dice game is over?
Correct.
Did she pour one for Sade?
No.
Okay. Just the defendant and then the other person who was playing the dice game?
Correct.
And at 7:17 and 42 seconds p.m., the shots are taken?
Correct.
Okay. Gonna advance this video to 16 minutes 43 seconds, picking up at 7:27:07 p.m. What's Sade doing?
Sade takes off her coat.
Now what's happening?
Sade stands up, and two other individuals walked past them by the table, and Sade then goes in the bathroom.
She brings her drink with her?
Yes.
Advancing this clip to 20 minutes, 33 seconds. We're at 7:30 and 59 seconds p.m. They're back at the bar, correct?
Correct.
All right. Bartender is doing the dice game again?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Anderson is playing?
Yes.
Sade playing?
No.
So she's not playing the dice games or taking the shots from them?
That's correct.
All right, I'm going to fast forward this. Does Mr. Anderson also have some kind of a vape?
Yes.
Okay. Appears by 7:33:52 the dice game is over?
Correct.
Okay, and the dice are kind of just sitting on top of the shake cup right here, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna go to the next clip. Well, the next one is extremely short. Just 3 seconds long. And then the following clip picks up at 7:33:59 p.m., correct?
Correct.
All right. I'm going to go to 49 seconds into the clip. What is the bartender doing?
She is pouring another shot.
Looks like it probably is another shot from that second dice game.
Correct.
Okay. And who's doing that shot?
Maxwell and the other individual.
Is Sade taking a shot?
No.
Going to advance this video. I paused at 7:39:34 p.m. Advancing to 17 minutes 48 seconds into the clip. Which is 7:51:46 p.m. What are we seeing now?
You're seeing two individuals on the right of Sade, and they're going to come over and talk to them.
Do they end up kind of hanging out with these two people for the remainder of the time that they're there?
Yes.
Paused at 7:52:38 p.m. I'm going to advance the video to 7:54:17 p.m. Mr. Anderson stepped away for a moment, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And Sade and the female are doing what?
Sade got up. The female is going to the music box, and Sade eventually goes over by the music box by the other female.
Okay. And you know from reviewing other camera angles that even though it's not on camera here, what is there is what?
A music box.
Okay. At 7:55 p.m., Mr. Anderson returns from the bathroom?
Correct.
The bartender just brought over 2 pitchers of what appears to be water, correct?
Yes.
And what else did she bring over?
She brought over cups. Plastic cups.
What's going to happen next?
They are going to play beer pong.
On this red table here?
Yes, the red table that says Dukes.
Were you made aware of whether anybody had provided information to the police about Sade playing beer pong at Duke's?
Yes, there was an individual that provided that information.
Going to advance. I paused at 7:57:20 p.m. Picking up at 8:02:12 p.m. What does it look like Sade is doing right now?
It looks like she is taking a picture because you can see her phone and then you can see the red on the back of her phone.
All right, I'll back it up and zoom just briefly. So if someone had indicated that she had taken a Snapchat playing beer pong at Duke's, would this seem to suggest that that did happen?
Correct.
I'm gonna speed the video up here. She's standing there on her phone?
Yes.
Okay. Where's Mr. Anderson?
He is at the bar getting drinks.
Now what's happening?
Mr. Anderson takes the drinks over to Sade.
Okay. He brought 2 drinks over?
He did.
And one of them Sade takes and begins drinking, correct?
Correct.
Paused it at 8:04:04 p.m. I'm going to advance it to 8:20 p.m. The beer pong game finishes, right?
Correct.
Now what's happening? I have it in fast forward.
Now Sade sits down by the slot machines and Mr. Anderson sits down right next to her and they are talking.
Paused at 8:21:49 p.m. Sorry, 8:21:55 p.m. Advancing to 8:33 p.m. Where are they?
They are by the bar.
And we know from the other views, where is Mr. Anderson at this time?
Mr. Anderson is outside smoking a cigarette.
Putting it into fast forward. All right, I have it up to 8:35:42 p.m. Mr. Anderson's returned to that area where they were originally seated.
Correct.
Paused at 8:35:49. Going to advance it 8:39, 11 p.m. What are they doing?
They are now starting beer pong back up.
Playing it in fast forward. Paused at 8:44:18. They're just playing beer pong, right?
Correct.
Fast forward to 8:45:24 p.m. Sade and Mr. Anderson are talking near the bathrooms, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then the game resumes, right?
Correct.
Paused at 8:46:01 p.m. Advancing to 8:49:18 p.m. Actually, I should have gone back a little bit. 8:49:11 p.m. What's Sade doing?
Sade then goes to the bathroom.
And she doesn't appear to have a drink anymore, right?
No, she doesn't.
Sade's back by what time?
By 8:51:18.
All right, and for the rest of this clip, do they essentially just continue to play beer pong?
Yes.
8:51:21 p.m. is where I have this timestamp, the last timestamp from this clip. And I'm going to go on to the next clip from channel 4, camera 4. This clip picks up at 9 o'clock and 3 seconds. I'm going to advance it to 52 seconds. 9 o'clock and 53 seconds on the timestamp. What's happening now?
The game is over or about to be over, and eventually you're going to see them shaking hands. They're eventually going to hug, and Sade and Mr. Anderson are going to leave.
So Sade hugs the young woman she's been talking to?
Correct.
And now what's happening at 9:02 and 5 seconds p.m.?
They are putting on their coats.
Okay, that's a perfect point to stop then. Okay, so tomorrow morning we're going to kick back up at 8:45. Feel free to bring coffee, water, or soda. Leave your notebooks on your chairs. Remember, no talking about the case with anybody. Put it out of your mind.
The flash drive.
Thank you. Any objection to 2:30 date?
No.
Received as well.
So that look like it's it for the day. Like I said, this is day 5. I just started covering this shit. I'm gonna cover this shit tomorrow. But, I mean, I got a theory. And my theory is this. Maybe she sold drugs because she got caught with some pills that they labeled meth. And, I mean, because look at him now. Look at him back then. Maybe he was a user. And maybe he knew she had these drugs somehow. I don't know. And he went back to the crib and he was trying to steal the drugs. And she wasn't giving up the combination once he realized they was in the safe. And he said he was going to torture her and get these drugs. I don't the fuck know. But this is crazy. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not no detective, nor do I claim to be. But, like, if you chopping bodies up, like, you want some different shit. That's like some next level shit, man. Shooting somebody, stabbing somebody, those are two separate things. But when you stay around after to chop the body up and you bringing this piece over here and that piece over there, and then the car get burnt up, and you seen on the bus in the area where the car was, and you ain't got no car to get to that area but her car. You know, like I said, this shit be crazy. I don't know. It is what it is. And to my fam in the chat, thank you. I love you. And like I always say, if you're a supporter of the channel, much love and respect goes out to you. And if you're one of them haters out there, cut